Hey YouTube, what's going on here? It's Foursquare, and I know I'm making 2 videos in a day, so yeah, sort of restarting my channel up. So let's begin. Today's topic is going to be what's wrong with Runescape? Why did Runescape die? Why is it considered dead? And the main factors. So basically, I'm going to lay out my argument here that RuneScape is basically dead. No one really, has any chance to revive it. It's completely dead. It's gone. I mean, most of the things that when we think about it, 2006 RuneScape, 2005, 2003, 2004, it's something that we really can't revive as a whole community. Now, let me just say, RuneScape has been a game which has been existed for more than 10 years. I mean, 10 years for a game to last this long is pretty amazing as an online community. So, alright, with that being said, let's begin. So, there are two types of players, right? In the 2000 RuneScape 2006 generation, they are the old players. Now, the demographic has changed majorly. All the old players are now, well, 20 to 24 years old as they aged, and the new players are, well, basically the ones who started in 2010, 2011, and basically all the new guys. And they played a major factor in affecting our community. Now, most of the people who have joined recently, they have no idea how to behave, just what the norm was in 2006. Oh yeah, and I don't know why, but basically all the, 13, 16-year-old kids nowadays are really, what I mean by trolling, by really bad trolling, I mean things that say, like, they could always say, "you mad," or things about PKing, but we'll talk about that later. But for that main argument, it's that disrespect for players has increased a lot. Now, every single sentence, every scroll rotation, I always see the word "kid" in PKing. Now, I really don't know why that's useful for, but anyway, I don't know why. People are just more angry at each other, I guess, for no reason. But anyways, moving on. Yeah, basically, alright, Jagex tried to combat real-world trading, and that was the only way they knew how. They put a trade limit in the game, so therefore that basically, ruined all the old merchanters who made a lot of money. This introduced a whole new wave of players who actually had to, scam their way up, or 26k their way up, or 76k, whatever that was. And that also attributed to the main factor of player disrespect, because players would often get more scammed. Yeah, basically the period between 2006 2007 until 2011, when free trade was released again, that was a period where Jagex was failing as a company. Their membership was sort of decreasing, and everyone was really excited for the whole free trade back. They were like, "Oh my god, RuneScape, the old RuneScape's going to be back! Hooray, hooray, hooray!" But little did they know that it wasn't going to change all of a sudden overnight. It was going to be, it's still about the same today. I mean, nothing really has changed much, apart from maybe a few updates, but that's about it. That's basically one of the main reasons for change, because of the real world, because of the trade limit update. All right. So moving on now. Oh yes, players are being forced upon to actually buy Jagex's membership. Now this seems really ridiculous. I remember back in the days when honestly, membership was very, very rare, and everything was much harder to obtain. If you saw a member, with full gold trimmed black armor, then you'd go up to him and be like, "Oh my god," like. You'd hang out with him, you'd actually be nice to him, not rather than just say, "Haha, you have black armor, I'm richer than you," or like, "Haha, I'm a member as well." Like, things like that. They've also attributed to the deprecation of RuneScape society, how should I say it? Yeah. Also, Jagex has put in a lot of new items. For example, they have put in Dragonfire Shield, they have put in Staff of Light. They have put in Ancient Curse Prayers. Now, what does this do? Basically, it introduces a whole bunch of new things for players to be used. So now you don't need really that much skill to play the game anymore. You just need to be good at money making, or well, by money making I mean in Duel Arena, or scamming players, however they might get their money. But yeah, a lot of new items have been added, and that really has put a strain on the old players who back in the old days you'd go PKing with whip and DES, and for if you hit over 30 or over 35, then you were considered to be one of the really good guys. Nowadays, if you don't hit over 500 with your DDS spec, like 25, then you're considered to be a noob. I mean, how is that, even remotely fair? But I guess the norm has really changed nowadays. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Yes, influx of the price of items. Now, basically, yeah, back in 2006, I remember a Santa hat was 10 mil. 10 mil. Now it's worth about 200 and something mil nowadays. And I remember a whip was 3.5 mil. Now it's 500k. I don't know how that works. Probably because of the little Squeal of Fortune thing. But it's kind of unfair. Anyways, moving on from that. Oh yeah, party hats have also increased in price. Now, if you saw a player with a party hat, you literally follow him around and say, "Nice party hat, nice party hat," and eventually talk to him and ask him for money if you're really greedy. But nowadays, if you see a player with a party hat, you're like, "Ha, you noob! Everyone has one of those now." I mean, it's really changed, to be honest, in that regard. Oh yes, also, with the new items, that has completely ruined PKing. Now, what I'm talking about is like things like Soul Split, Turmoil. You just need money to be good at PKing. But what I mean by good, you just need to actually kick everyone else's asses, and no one else would say a thing. That's all you had to do, well, have to do. But if you don't have money, then how can you do that? You'd have to, PK in really bad gear or things like that. And that is also attributed to it, I guess. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Oh yes, everything is much more simplified. If you really think about it, agility, herbal, like all these new skills, they've, well, not new skills, how should I say, updated skills. They've got, a lot of really, how should I say, buffering to them. The only rare skills nowadays is probably like 99 strength, attack, defense, or maybe range, perhaps. But otherwise than that, it's just mainly Jagex's fault for introducing so many new activities. That's probably because they want to, keep their membership up, or I don't even know, but that's pretty much the main reason why a lot of players have been, going just like, I remember back in the day, if you had a skill cape, or if you had a 99, no one would believe that you had a 99 until they high scored you. I mean, that's how rare it was. But nowadays, if you don't have at least 5 99s, then you are considered to be a noob, or however people pronounce it nowadays. Let's see. Yes, so all the factors that I just talked about attribute to players being more antisocial, and how should I say this, elitist class have formed. Now, what I'm talking about elitism, I'm talking about economic elitism. By this I mean clans such as, Dragon Dice, or whatever clans you want to talk about, but still, they're really, how should I say, they're not good for Runescape. Yeah. What I mean by economic elitism, that players have made a lot of money off however way they're making, namely Duel Arena. Now, Duel Arena nowadays is really easy to make money. Now, I could start with 20 mil and go up to about 600 mil within less than 2 hours. Now, how is that fair on a person who spent probably like 3 months getting 99 fishing, and they just, got 100 mil? It isn't. It's completely unfair. I mean, it's completely preposterous. If you really just, actually analyze why, some of the things are cheaper than others, or why players are more, how should I say this, petulant in their attitudes, then you'd probably trace it back to how easy it is to make money, or social classes. What I mean by social classes is that no one probably talks to you unless you have money. Now the damning reality of that, these are probably the only people which I talk to, and that's supposed to be 200 filled perhaps, but yeah, that's pretty much about it. And also, real world trading plays a major factor. Now, I know a whole bunch of people who've had like 5-6 bill and sold it for like 20 grand in real life. I mean, you don't really need that much wealth in RS, but yeah, if you do sell it, then I don't know what to say, but it's basically playing a major role. So, how has this whole thing affected you? Well, basically, there's higher prices on items, which you need to compete a lot and get in the dual arena business. A lot of people, social classes have formed: the rich ones, the poor ones, the begging ones, the scamming ones. Not as many, not as much like you don't have as much free communication as you did back then. What I mean by that is that a player wouldn't walk up to one another and ask for directions. Like if you did that nowadays, people would laugh at you. They'd just say, Google it or something. And also, yeah, this is basically why RuneScape is dead, or why it's died, and why a lot of people are hopping off, such as WTF Elfmage or all the other people. But yeah, enough of me talking. Please remember to subscribe if you did like this video. So, yeah.